The highest version of you is quiet, is like the Holy Spirit. They convict and stop at conviction. The lowest side of you, have you seen manipulative people? The lowest side of you is manipulative, and then they have all the memory of bad things, and then they have, like, I think most of our RAM is used on the lower side of ourselves, and the highest side of ourselves has the lowest memory. By the time you recall that, there are people that have thrived in these kinds of businesses, you realize that you just pull out examples, and they are coming from afar. But to come up with examples of people that have failed, just log on to social media. And everything in our life agrees with the lowest side of ourselves. So it has more witnesses. The highest side of us does not have witnesses. The highest side of us has God as a witness, the Holy Spirit as a witness, the Bible as a witness, and the good people that have thrived long enough as witnesses, because they will tell you, I've been through that, but you will go through it as well. Just keep going. But those people are few, because even when they speak, it sounds like cliche. It sounds like they are lying. They're like, these motivational speakers, they are here to just encourage us and to excite us, you know? So it's better I go slow, okay? So you realize that conflict, human encountered, I mean, there is always, we encounter something, and then because conflict is friction of two parts, okay? So whenever we are with people, maybe someone does not agree with us, and it could be, by the way, some of us are so emotional and so sensitive that we pick on even problems of other people. Nchairako. You know, someone hates someone, and then whenever you look at them, you also see that they have a long mouth. Whenever you look at them, you see someone who has no future. As in, you are already in the mood where you fear conflict, and people who fear conflict, they take sides so quickly. Why? Because they're always thinking, maybe this is the strongest side, so let me hide behind here and throw words to the other camp. Okay? So you realize that so many people are going through these things with workmates, with friends, with neighbors, with family, with parents, with siblings. Like there is constant, we live in a constant motion of friction and conflict, and that is where we need to be able to get the competencies of managing relationships. And remember, we talked about the 4 types of people, and then the 4 types of people we must have in our lives. And then we talked about the people that we cannot help. So you realize that is all relational intelligence. That the moment you have relational intelligence, then you know that, by the way, I'm not going to mislabel you as my friend, because how I fight with a friend is different from how I fight with an associate. And how I fight with an associate is different from how I fight with an assignment, and how I fight with my advisor, and how I fight with my lover. Okay? So you realize they're totally different. So when you go to, aside from that, people have a pain and a problem adjusting to change. Okay? Adjusting to. That is why they will know what to do, but they will never strong enough, or they will never have all the backing capacity to actually go through it, because change at all angles is frightening.
It's heavy work.
Very frightening, and very, because there's a lot of uncertainty. You're telling me to forgive, and then I go back to being their friend. God, that's not a change I'm willing to take. I want to stay here where I can hate on them. You know, hate is so easy, eh? And you know that it's so sweet. Yeah, when you're hating on someone, like there's an ego inside of you, and you're satisfying that ego. So you're thinking they're suffering, and you're the one that is holding the upper hand. Kumbe, you're the one that is suffering, and the other person is minding their business. So the pain of change. Someone is going through a divorce, the pain of change. Someone has lost a relationship, the pain of change. Someone has given birth to a new human being, tiny human being, the pain of change. Someone is crossing from honeymoon phase to a bargaining phase. Because from honeymoon phase, we go to bargaining phase in relationships and marriages. Because honeymoon phase, you're not seeing anything bad. But when it comes to the bargaining, then you're like, can I live with that nose for the rest of my life? Can I live with that snoring? I can, But this person is stingy. They're like the master of, or the leader of the stingy association. Now, can I live with that? So we get into, from honeymoon, we get into bargaining. Now we are turning everything, because now the lenses, it's like we have gotten lenses all of a sudden. Now we can see clearly. Everyone is under microscopic analysis. So you realize that change is difficult. Whether you're crossing from one phase to another, change is difficult, that even when you are coming from having too much money to having less money, that is change. Even when you're going from less money to high money, that is change. Okay? Very unpredictable. People that are transitioning and changing jobs, that is very hard. Okay? People that are changing friends, very hard. And it can be a change in drop in confidence. The reason as to why I want us to go to the nitty-gritty is because human experiences are endless, very endless. Maybe someone was confident, but all of a sudden, now they feel less confident. They were the ones moving and they just didn't have a care in the world. And then all of a sudden, one day they look at themselves in the mirror because someone made a comment about them, and now they are less confident, from 100 to 30%. Every change is difficult. Now, there is someone who didn't have confidence, and maybe because of a comment, they went from 30 to 100. Do you see how hard it is to manage such a person? They're like a dog that has been let out of the gate. My friend, they can put on things that you have no idea. Because they were told, you have nice thighs. My friend, the thighs are going to be. You have nice legs. You have nice lips. They will all be all over the place because they've been told, you know what? So every change, whether up or down, is very difficult. And it can even be business. Someone is moving from one business to another. They've been selling clothes, and now they're going to sell insurance. Or they were selling insurance, and now they're going to be network marketers. Very different. Okay? So we facilitate that at all levels. Another pain is pain of bad health. Pain of bad health. These pains are going to come, and just like I said, we face them, and the people that we help face them. Okay? Now, the moment we know them, even when it is you that is facing them, then you know how to diagnose, you know how to help yourself. Even when you're helping another person, the pain of bad health. Someone has just come from a doctor and they've been told they have cancer. And all they're looking for is, can I talk to someone? Okay? They've been told you have HIV, and maybe whoever broke the news did not have any small knowledge in people management and emotion management and expectation management. Dropped onto them like a bomb. And now they are all over the place, that even when you hear, that is why you have to be very sensitive. So many people like that have called me, and you can sense in your spirit that this is a matter of urgency, that if I let this person go off the phone to negotiate about money and payment and what, the next thing I will hear that they are dead. So most of the times, even when they say, can we speak on phone? And sometimes you can even stay on phone and they're just crying for 30 minutes. They are whimpering, they are, trying to put it together. No amount of words can help them, but just you being there and quiet and knowing that there is another person at the end of the other line is enough to know that they are important and someone can give them the time. I remember one of the ladies that happened to. She called me. She was in Zambia, and I couldn't reach her. She was. I was also sick, by the way. I was also down, but when I talked to her, she managed to manage her emotions for those 2 hours that I stayed on phone with her. Meanwhile, I was also sick. But I felt it that it was an emergency and this person really needed. While she was crying, while she was making sense of it, while she was trying to call other people and do what I said, I am here. And whenever you need me, just call my name. I'll say yes, and we will resurrect this talk. And I remember too, I think it was a month after that, because she was diagnosed with cancer, a month after that she was flying out of the country, and she brought her whole family to come and see me. Yeah, and she said the reason as to why I didn't commit suicide is because she picked her phone. I know how busy she is. When she gave me those 2 hours, after that I felt like I am important and I can stay and I still have, my use is valid in this world. A year after that, she called me and she's a cancer survivor right now. She got full treatment. And every year I get a gift for my children. You know, even when I give birth, they will send a gift from UK, you know. They'll be like, you know what, I am going to shop this, I am going to shop this. Every end of year they bring in perfumes, they bring in what, body mists and what. But because in that moment, her life pivoted on who picked her phone and who listened to her and who spoke into her life. So you realize that bad health is very detrimental to all of us. It makes us break down. And we all handle things differently, okay? So I need you to be able to have the discernment of knowing that this person, once they step out of here, I don't know what decision they are going to make. So there are certain cases where you're going to have to ask them, who is your next of kin? Who can I call to come for you? Or can I be able to drive you to your home? Okay? It's important to discern. That is how people are saved. And that is how people are helped. So, bad health in all corners. Look at it in all corners, okay? No one can be prepared enough for that. And then the pain of hard decisions. Hard decisions. People know that they can't make everyone happy, but again, they are caught between a rock and a hard place. They don't know what to decide. So someone comes and they want to make a decision. They want to make a decision whether to terminate a business. They want to make a decision whether to get a second opinion from another doctor. They want to make a decision to put a pause on a relationship. To terminate a pregnancy. Yes, so many of those are going to come. And your word, you are going to stand in between that child having life or being dead. So do you see how you are a destiny carrier? That someone will choose to get married because of a word that you said. Someone will choose to terminate a marriage because of what. So some people take what we say as the gospel truth. So bad decision. I'm into a partnership and I want to end this partnership. But chances are they are ending it on emotional claims. And when you dig deeper, maybe this partner is one that is going to actually help them soar higher and even have, bigger margins in the business. So now you have to turn them around and say, you want to terminate it, but let's first break it down before you even terminate it. And before they know it, they are going away and they're thinking, no, I think I missed a step. I think I just got angry. I think I need to sleep on it. Or I think I need to walk away from this situation and come back after making a sober decision, or I just don't need to make a decision in the moment. Okay? Bad decisions. There are people that are going to come to you, and at that moment, they've already terminated the pregnancy. They regret it, they are crying, and they are inconsolable. The pain of bad decisions. Someone has, they made bad decisions, they are now addicts, and now they want to get off the addiction, the pain of bad decisions. Some of them can be immediate, some of them can be urgent, and some of them can be long time, that these decisions have been made over time, and now they want to make an about turn, and you cannot just make an about turn on a decision that you have made for 10 years or 30 years. Okay? And now what you need is to be able to help them walk back to where they made that decision so that they can walk back the journey, which is a painful journey. Okay? Some of you are going to come and maybe they've practiced incest. Some of them are going to come with stories, untold stories, okay, of bad decisions. So make sure that you are well equipped. The discernment, the courage, the authority, but most of all, the knowledge, because we apply the knowledge, okay? And the wisdom of where to apply and where not to apply. Because some people are going to come to you and you have to have the knowledge of knowing that this is not my patient. This is Coach Fifi's patient. Okay? And this is my patient, but I can do this job better when I partner with so-and-so in helping this person. Because maybe I'll be the soft one, the fallback to, and then the other one is going to be the hard one. And the balance of these two is actually going to help. Okay, so let's make sure that we do that. The pain of relationship losses, the reason as to why that one is even independent, because relationship loss can sound like a person has lost someone. Indeed, lost someone.
That's why it's called a broken heart.
Yeah.
The entire heart broken.
And the broken relationship or a relationship loss can be a sibling. Do you know that that pains? You know? Losing a relationship with a sibling, losing a relationship with your best friend, losing a relationship with someone that you really loved, that you've been married to for the longest time, how about losing a relationship with your child? You know, some of these things sound very far, but the moment 10 years from now, you will tell me, I have had things that I think I was not supposed to even hear. The pain of losing a relationship, a child's relationship, a parent-child relationship is very, very hard. You can actually tell someone to let go when they have lost a romantic relationship, but when someone loses and there's a trench in between them, reconciling them is hard and walking away is hard. So they stay stuck for the longest time. So people are going to present those to you. And the knowledge is not forcefully. You're a child. You want to reconcile with your parent? Let's just drive to your parent. Hey, sometimes you could be adding salt to injury. And the work that you need to do is in this person independently, realigning their attitude, realigning their response system, realigning their perception and everything that they do, and interpretation, character, competences of handling certain people, and telling them that, you know what, by the time your mother is 60, you think there is something new you're going to tell them? You think there is something new you're going to change about them? So you either change how you look at her, or you don't look at her at all.
Choose your heart.
Yeah. Both of them are hard, but you have to choose. So before you know it, they go easy on them. They're like, you know what, I'm going to select conversations I will have with my mother. Because it's too late. You can't go to a 60-year-old and teach them how to forgive. Chances are they have learned unforgiveness for the past 50 years of their lives, and it is cemented inside of them. Who are you to tell them to forgive their children? Okay? So that means loss at all levels, or relationship loss at all levels, and sometimes we even underestimate the loss of a relationship between us and us. The most important relationship is relationship between you and yourself. Okay? So the moment you lose that, you're going to doubt every relationship on earth. Because now it is the foundation on which, the moment you lose confidence in yourself, the moment you lose self-belief, the moment you lose, there is no amount of anyone telling you anything that is going to pump it up, because it's an inside job. That is something that you look at yourself in your mirror. That is why you will see that we have books trending like Give Yourself a High Five by Robin. Haven't you seen? As in, give yourself a high five. That means you begin the day by saying, you are it. You are lit. You are nice. I believe in you. And we are going to do mega things. How you reconstruct that is by being alone. Some of us even fear being alone. How you resurrect a relationship between you and you is by being alone and listening to you and your conversations that you don't even want to listen to. Okay? Because that is how you diagnose, and that is how you're able to reach the problem and how to avert it, or how to reprogram your mind about it. Okay? So the loss of relationships, that is huge. So many people are going to come to you. And even if you don't deal with, you know, sometimes we will think that it's only relationship coaches that deal with loss of relationships. No. Those that are dealing with trauma, those that are dealing with single mother, those that are dealing with teenagers, those that are dealing, nearly every one of us is going to face it in one way or another. Okay, so I want us to be very prepared about that. And then the pain of financial loss. Pain of financial could be because of your bad decisions, could be of the things that you procrastinated on and decided just not to do. Financial could be to theft, could be to being conned. You know, sometimes you will feel like, I wish I was a Superman and I would just fly to this person and just, you know, I wish I had, yeah. And, you know, someone just steals your phone and you're thinking, back, you just feel discouragement at all levels. You just feel like there's something you could have done about it. Sometimes you can even make bad prayers. These days, I no longer make bad prayers. These days, I say, let that be a point of contact for their lives to turn for the rest of their lives. Whether they will know God, whether they, as in, echange bwe bakibba kireme kubeera ng'ekyabalala bwe bakibba. No, mine should have a special anointing that you stole it and your heart is going to be restless until you can change.
Wow.
And you will feel a lot of peace in your heart. You'll be like, you know what, I release that and I usher in more and everything that was supposed to be mine. Because if I dwell on it, what use is that going to be? It's not going to actually help. Yeah. And some people just need to be helped to let go. And sometimes, you know, you can never know the power you hold until sometimes it comes to a place where you need to apply it. You know, because sometimes you'll be like, that's not in my docket. But what if you're the only one there? You get it? Someone has ever called me with the same issue. They had been actually conned, and this was like on an international, you know, level. And they had been conned, and they were looking at the con woman was everywhere boarding planes and going from airport to airport. Like they were going on their merry way. And when she posted, there were more than 13 people that had been conned by that same person. And now they called me. They were like, you know what? I just did this as a last resort because I feel, and when they called me, I could actually sense what they were going through. So I read to them what they were going through. I was like, you're depressed because you are stuck. You don't know what exactly to do because there is nothing for you to do. You reported to police and that is about it. You cannot fly to another country. You cannot, Smanya, I'm going to indulge Interpol and what? And I was like, you know, because but umola. Because you're going to lose more money. And because she had so many surrounding areas, because some of the problems that we are dealing with are just triggers, but there are so many surrounding problems around them. She was being chased out of the house. She was financing a mortgage, and she was, you know, like a lot of things were happening. Her own parents were sick, and a lot of things were happening, and she was only focused to this one thing because this is what the greatest lie, that if you focus on this one, all the others maybe will cease to be. Have you ever been in a fix? So you focus on one thing that you really think because you're very angry about it, and then you are losing sight of everything else. And so when I brought to sight everything else that was going on in her life, she was like, you know what I'm dealing with is the least thing that I should be dealing with right now. Because this person didn't take my brain, I can still work, but what I need, instead of losing time and losing sleep, and I'm getting to work and I'm underperforming because that is what was happening, the best thing is for me to get back into working and being able to be productive so that I can make money, so that I can be able to cover up what I had lost. So you realize you hold a lot of power in changing where people's attention is and what you make big and what you make small. Okay, so financial loss is a very great one, and I think I want us to go to there are people that are going to surface in your life, and the only problem they have is why is it that I'm not the number one? Why is it that I'm not the richest? Why is it that I didn't get that relationship first? Why is it that I didn't get married first? Why is it that I did? There are people who have that. So they feel so bad that once anyone went first, they feel they should be the ones that, remember, we are all different. Okay, so there are people that are going to come to you and all they're suffering from is a sense of entitlement, a huge sense of, and what you do, what you have to do is to it's a balloon, now you just have to pierce it so that it can lose all air, and they can know that I'm just a human being that must be humble and stay in the queue like everyone else. Have you understood the analogy I've said? You pierce, and you can't be a coach that holds the balloon like, oh, Bambi, your balloon is full of air, your ego is inflated. You tell them, let me see that ego. And then you bring a pin and pierce it. Like, what tells you you're more important than anyone? Where did you get the idea that you're more important than everyone in this world? But why? But why? But why is this happening to me? Who did you want it to happen to? Show me one person that you can say they would have transferred this situation and transferred it to another person. It's like, I don't wish anyone bad. So can you just stay with it and know that not everyone you're going to be served first. Not everyone you're going to come first. Not everyone you're going to be, everywhere you're going to be in the lead. Sometimes you're going to come in the middle. Sometimes, yes, you will lead. And sometimes you will come last. And when you gain a bit of maturity, you will find it so soothing that you can even go at the back of the line and stand and just find it so easy to serve others so that you can come last. Drama queens. You're going to have drama queens and drama kings. That should not mean that you look at them and say you're a drama queen. You should look at them in your mind. You know that, now this is drama. And now you also put on your coat of drama. You're like, what you was there, Kali? Nange, I am changing to the silent me to a drama one. So let the drama queens exchange the words. Because sometimes we have to be a different person in order to help another person.
Change for their sake.
Yeah, you tune, okay? And then I think for this session, we will mention the pain of responsibility as the last one. There are just people that don't want to be responsible. They find it hard taking responsibility. And everything connected to responsibility, they are running away. Okay? Give it to the other one. Who is going to be who is going to write the minutes for us? So and so. They even give names.
Leading the prayer.
Exactly. They will always find a way of transferring it to another person. Now, when such people come in real life and they don't like responsibility, it feels like they have created an island of their own and they want to stay on that island. But meanwhile, the problems of others are pinching them. But they still want to cover up and stay on their own and not deal with these issues. Okay? Taking responsibility for, you have siblings and you know that they're not looking at anyone else, they're looking at you. And then you're saying, we talked about the single mother. Eh? And you're like, kakati nze ngenda kwefula sente, tewefula sente, but have your priorities in order. He's the one that is bad. He's the one that is bad. Take responsibility for why that relationship failed. 100%, but you contributed to the failure of that relationship or that marriage. Okay? and sometimes contributed to the loss of that job. Okay? Because even if it was, what are they called, reshuffles, even if it was, termination, or the company is downsizing, the issue is, why did some people stay and why did some people go? There must be a criteria. So if the criteria based on productivity, share the responsibility of not appearing on the list of those that were productive. It's hard, right? Why is it that other companies are growing and others are not growing? Can you share in the response? Don't say, those ones have a lot of money, those ones have a lot of, Can you look at where you are and say, what have I contributed to the downfall? Okay? Is it my spending habits? Is it, my recruiting habits? Is it my compensation? Or as in, what exactly am I doing that I can fix internally before I even go pointing fingers at everything else? Government has failed us. Is government managing your books? Does government know how much you make? Does it know how much you spend? Does it know how your recruiting system is? It doesn't. So before you point a finger at anyone, can you take responsibility and say, what are the things that I'm doing that I need to be able to cut down on, downsize, and be able to face the reality in my own? Instead of saying, so-and-so, the other woman is spoiling my marriage. What are you doing? So from me to you is a good night. Love you, love you, love you. Have a great weekend. Yes.